Nanaimo, British Columbia, a thriving harbor city located in one of the most superb natural settings in the world. The snow-capped mountains that rise above the city offer more than scenic splendor. The vast wilderness just minutes away from the downtown center is laden with sparkling rivers, streams, and mountain lakes, affording the nearly 70,000 residents of Greater Nanaimo a drinking water supply that is unsurpassed anywhere in the world. The abundance and quality of our water supply is often taken for granted. In many cities, costly purification plants are needed to turn polluted rivers into acceptable drinking water. Here in Nanaimo, on Vancouver Island, we are fortunate to have a self-contained watershed system right in our own backyard. Pure, virtually untreated mountain fresh water, nearly 60 million liters of it, is piped to homes and businesses every day. We can thank a favorable natural setting, but that's only part of the story. Responsible forest management and rigid security procedures inside the watershed have ensured a healthful water supply for every generation, from mining town to metropolis. Today, the Greater Nanaimo Water District and City of Nanaimo oversee a sophisticated network of dams, reservoirs, and pumping stations. In order to safeguard this delicate resource, the purity of the water supply is ensured through a multi-barrier approach, monitoring, chlorination, and a program of watershed security. Daily water samples are analyzed for physical, chemical, and bacteriological changes. Samples are collected by staff and sent to certified labs to ensure water meets Canadian drinking water guidelines. The City of Nanaimo performs in excess of 2,500 water quality tests per year. Treatment required is minimal. Nanaimo's water supply is so pure that just 1.2 kilograms of chlorine is added for every million liters of water. Here in the watershed lands, you will find managed forest. The area surrounding the watershed is privately owned by Weyerhaeuser and Timber West, with water supply and structures owned by the Greater Nanaimo Water District. It is a closed watershed with limited access to authorized individuals only. There is 24-hour security with regular patrols throughout the area. Even in an area as remote as this from water supply intakes, man-made pollutants can threaten the water supply. Hazardous materials deposited here may find their way here into the source of our drinking water. Any form of environmental damage could have catastrophic effects inside the watershed. For this reason, access is limited to essential personnel and other authorized individuals. If work-related duties require you to seek admission into the watershed, an entry permit must be obtained. Your personal health is also of extreme importance because water contamination through human waste is a serious threat to the water supply. Unfortunately, a certificate of health can never guarantee complete safety, as your state of health can change frequently. Consider that 1 gram of human waste contains several million microorganisms, potentially carrying diseases such as Giardia, Salmonella, Shigella, cholera, and typhoid, to name a few. Unsanitary practices can threaten us all. In an age where world travel is commonplace, we risk dangers of waterborne diseases from many corners of the world. Medical science tells us that people can carry bacteria, viruses, and parasites without becoming ill themselves, but can cause illness in others by the transmission of microorganisms through water. Take the case of Giardia, a form of dysentery commonly known as beaver fever. Only 1 person in 20 who carries the disease will experience actual illness, but in many cases, it has been passed on to the general population through the water supply. The Giardia parasite is the most common menace to drinking water supplies in North America. We are indeed fortunate that it has not contaminated the Nanaimo water system.
Good day, sir.
Good day.
Bill Irwin from Mountain Construction.
Great. You got your permit with you?
Yes, I do. It's right here.
We safeguard our water resource with round-the-clock security on a year-round basis. Security and regulation enforcement is jointly carried out by Weyerhaeuser and the City of Nanaimo. Personal responsibility is the watchword inside this very special place. Remember, a permit will get you into the watershed, but failure to follow regulations will be cause for immediate eviction. Toilet regulations are strictly enforced at all times. There are numerous sanitary facilities available and maintained. History has shown that drinking water and raw sewage are a disastrous combination. Yet personal hygiene is only a small part in protecting the watershed. Traffic accidents and chemical spills on watershed lands could have devastating effects as the rain washes any pollutants directly into the water supply. Spilled oil contains heavy metal, such as lead and other toxic compounds. Gasoline must be handled with extreme care, for it contains toxic substances, such as benzene. Forest fires are a particular hazard inside the watershed, where burning hillsides become eroded slopes, vulnerable to mudslides that thicken our water with silt deposits. Whatever your job assignment, be aware that working procedures inside the watershed may differ substantially from procedures elsewhere. Fuel handling is a matter of particular concern. Here, workers are demonstrating proper storage of petroleum products. In this fragile environment, all storage areas must be surrounded by impervious dikes, and all hoses must have automatic shutoff valves with locks. Before entering the protected area, you will receive printed regulations concerning the watershed. Read them, respect them, abide by them. Please be aware of all signage and abide by it. Non-compliance will result in immediate eviction and could lead to severe penalties, including jail sentences. The Greater Nanaimo Water District. We're the guardian of a very special place that demands special care. Your responsibility is quite clear. Actions such as these are unacceptable in any part of the watershed, no matter how remote. Remember, what you do here can work its way here. The watershed is a delicate resource that must be protected and preserved.